Broadcast Row for the Now generation. And now a special presentation from Broadcast Row. Broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world. Wake up. It's time, people, for your morning online gathering. Hosted by Mardel. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. And it starts now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wrestling Morning Show. It's Tuesday, September 26th. Well, we're coming off of No Mercy 2 nights ago, and of course, Raw last night. I just want to talk about No Mercy just for a second, kind of give you my thoughts about No Mercy, and of course, we'll talk about Monday Night Raw and whatever you guys like to talk about. The number is 844-627-3352. That's 844-627-3352. Follow us on Twitter at Live Morning Show. Facebook, we stream live at The Wrestling Morning Show. All information you need is on thewrestlingmorningshow.com. No Mercy. I was excited for this pay-per-view more so than any pay-per-view since WrestleMania. Maybe Money in the Bank is a close second, but with 2 major main events, I was a little let down, especially on the last one. You know what I'm talking about, Brock versus Braun. The match lasted only 9 minutes. It was a back and forth, brute forces inside the ring. Finally, we see them face to face, toe to toe. Brock looked human, but so did Braun Strowman. Now, obviously, you're not going to see the greatest wrestling match in the world between these two. You're going to see strength and power, and that's what happened. But literally out of nowhere, Brock connects on an F5. Just one F5, which is not really customary in the this world of professional wrestling, where your finisher can get the job done. But guess what? He got the job done on probably the most destructive force since Brock Lesnar, and that's Braun Strowman. I was slightly disappointed with this match. Okay, more than slightly disappointed. The match lasted 9 minutes. I didn't expect it to go 25 minutes. But I did expect, first of all, I assumed Braun was going to win. I predicted Braun was going to win. But Brock retains. More importantly, after Braun looked like he was dominating the entire match and somewhat manhandling Brock Lesnar, it took one F5. One F5. And Brock got the pin and retains as the Universal Champion. I even commented that maybe this was about 30 seconds longer than Goldberg, which obviously wasn't true. So there you go, Brock versus Braun. It did not live up to the hype. They had every opportunity to live up to the hype. 9 minutes, and it's over. It happens on one F5. I was utterly disappointed. So where do you go from this? Who faces Brock? We're going to talk about that later. But what happens, more importantly, to Braun Strowman? You spend this entire 4 or 5 months. The man was almost killed by an ambulance, and it took just one F5, and then they pinned him. I'm curious what you think. The number is 844-627-3352. You could call or text. Turn our attentions now to Roman, John Cena. Now, this was a big match feel. This was awesome. Crowd was into it from the very beginning. Crowd is chanting, "You both suck." Very hot crowd. So what does Cena do? He listens to them and says, you know what, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Why not? Let me just leave. So he leaves the ring. And of course, we know he can't be that serious. Goes up the ramp. Roman goes after him, brings him back into the ring, and officially this match starts. This was awesome. I mean, this stole the show for me. And they lived up to the hype. Another match where John Cena steals a pay-per-view. Another match where John Cena elevates someone like Roman Reigns, and that's what happened. Roman looked very good. John Cena was just a great pro. It's pretty nice. We saw a super attitude adjustment from Cena, and the crowd's chanting one more time on this. It seemed like toward the very end, Cena was dominating this match. In the very beginning, Roman obviously took the lead with this, but all it took was a couple combinations And Roman Reigns defeated John Cena clean. Clean. This has been a common trend lately. This has been kind of the badge of honor, beating John Cena clean. And if you go back and look at the last couple of years of people beating John Cena clean, they've gone on to do some great things. Most notably, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. I think it's a badge of honor when you could beat John Cena clean. At the very end, the love that Los Angeles showed John Cena. And now, in the very beginning, of course, there's everybody who wants to chime in, but the Cena sucks, and you both suck. But the man, there was the boo versus yeah punches, and the yeahs were coming toward John Cena. We have not seen that ever. So he stays in the ring. Roman leaves, goes up the ramp. Now, ultimately, after this whole big feud, this whole big build-up, John Cena has some nice words for Roman Reigns at the very end. We don't know what he said. And he raises Roman Reigns' hand. Roman leaves. Inside the ring is John Cena, almost like a hero's goodbye. And he gets an unbelievable reception as he leaves the ring. Class act by John Cena again. Big match John took Romans to another level. This was worth the wait. This for me was the main event of the entire show. They brought back Raw Talk last night. So let's go and listen to John Cena as he really kind of breaks down the wall of any remaining fiberglass of kayfabe and talks about the match, talks about Roman Reigns, possibly even talks about his future.
Fun to talk
I know, but I mean, we're here. We're making it
Raw
happen,
Talk.
so I still feel good about it.
I hope I don't kill Raw Talk because I was one of the last guests on Talking Smack.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So what's going on, guys?
What's going on with you? How are you feeling after your match? And I have a bazillion questions, so let's start there.
Okay. And the ice machine was kind enough to shut off for us. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
nice.
We are
Good.
set up in what formerly was catering.
Finishing second place is always tough. If I can, I would like to say that I think it's no secret that I was particularly hard on Roman Reigns for the duration of our interaction, and that's by design. I feel that my job here in WWE is to either be the best or be a vehicle for the best. And I think Roman kind of shares the same vision. So I wanted to try to bring something out of him, and I said this quite a few weeks ago that I don't think anyone else has the courage to do. And I'm at a point where I haven't seen it all, but I've seen a lot. And from where I stood, Roman Reigns, his one setback, his one drawback was he needed to bring something extra. He needed to dig down deep and find something in here. And that's, I built a career on earning respect. And like I said, I was very hard on him, but it was for a good reason. And if he didn't show up today, then he certainly wouldn't earn my respect. He has absolutely done just that.
Is it tough being in a position like that where I'm sure there's times that you selfishly just want to do what you want to do, but when you're kind of put in a spot to help these other guys get into the position to kind of take over the spot for John Cena, do you find that tough to do that?
No, because literally I practice what I preach. You either step up or step aside. And for years, there have been so many that try and can't sustainably produce. And people will say what they want about me. That is just the way things are. That's the way this business is. But every time I am called upon, I put my heart and soul in every single time I step in that ring, whether it's to talk or whether it's to go out and perform. And that's all I wanted from Roman. I'm not saying that Roman just calls it in, but in watching his work very closely, he just lacked that ability to dig deep. The best example I can get is the last time I was in the ring with Miz. You can just see it in someone's face when it crosses a threshold of enough is enough. Mm-hmm. And that's my job, to either bring that out of you or prove that you don't have it, which means you're not on this level. And Roman stepped up. Roman stepped up both in a way to communicate with the audience. I said his parting shot to John Cena on Monday Night Raw was Kasparov brilliant. I thought he did a wonderful job. And you could tell, I said 2 weeks ago, do your homework before you come out here, because that's what the guy does. He went home, he did some homework and stepped it up. Yeah. That made me say, oh, all right. And tonight in the ring, I was beaten by a better man. I threw everything I possibly could at him. that was my best performance. Normally, when guys don't do so well, it's that fallback of, well, if I had only, or, you know, next time or whatever. Mm-hmm. I lost to the better man.
Were you actually thinking that in the match, John? Was that part of your thought process? I mean,
no.
I mean, were you thinking about his performance during that match?
No, because my job is to give it my all, and I can walk away from this. I can walk away from this saying I gave everything I had, and it's okay that it wasn't good enough. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. Then what it does is solidifies Roman's presence truly as the guy. Now, what he does going forward, that's up to Roman Reigns. But as far as the past few weeks go, and as far as tonight goes, like I said, I was tough on Roman, but he has earned my respect, absolutely.
You talk about being able to walk away and know that you did the best that you could do. And King and I were watching together, and it was pretty eerily reminiscent of Roman Reigns and The Undertaker at WrestleMania. This goodbye that you seemed to have in the ring was
what was going through your mind then?
Well, you know, it was weird because here you have a guy that says he is the guy, and I don't feel right about it. I don't feel that he is. And then in a 1 month period, I watch this young man mature into the guy from a superstar standpoint. And tonight it was from a performance standpoint. This is the building that I won my first world championship in WrestleMania. And that was, I'm not going to date myself, it was many moons ago. So sitting there tonight, it was like, honestly, it felt like a giant burden had been lifted off of my shoulders in the best way possible. Because you want, I'm as WWE as it comes. A lot of guys here, and this is no knock on everybody, a lot of guys here, the guy you had on before, no knock, but it's just his personality. He's very Enzo first.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to be fortunate enough to have such a long presence here, I'm WWE first. And it makes me feel really good knowing that I can believe in our future. And I use the word believe ironically as Roman does.
That.
I can believe in our future confidently.
So really, when that match was over, did you feel proud of Roman Reigns?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why there's no shame in ever, if you walk away from something after giving it your best and your best isn't good enough, there's no shame in failing because you learn from failure. And if my lesson is I have to reevaluate myself and maybe take better inventory of where I think I am, so be it. But I'm very, very proud of Roman Reigns. And like I said, he absolutely earned my respect tonight.
I, of course, have to ask you, what did you say to Roman in the ring?
I'm not going to tell you that.
I knew you were going to say
sorry.
that.
There's a,
Come on.
Roman speaks often of a brotherhood, and King, I think you can attest to this, between WWE superstars. And that is a very real thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been down the roads that Roman is walking, and that he will walk. And what I said to him, I believe was necessary and was deserved. And it's between him and I. It's between that bond that just us share.
It was very cool to see his reaction, which I'm sure you didn't see because your back was to him, but he just looked like very appreciative of whatever it was that you would say.
I honestly, it was a very emotional night.
Yeah.
Having done a lot of these and having been in a lot of situations and being in the same building where I jumped in the crowd after I won my first championship, it's cool. No, it's cool, man. It's all right. It's just transition is tough, but it's wonderful. It's beautiful, and I'm proud to be able to say confidently that I lost to a better man tonight, and that the future of this company is in unbelievable hands.
Well, let me say this, or let me ask you this. It's almost like you're talking around a situation. I'm going to ask you what a young lady, as we watched the end of the match, a young lady turned to me and said, "Is he gone?"
No, well, for years everybody's said they couldn't see me, so was I ever here in the first place?
Yes, you were here.
Hypothetical question for you guys out there, but no, I just think my role is different, and I said this to I had a podcast with Agent Christian. I said the same thing. Regardless of if I have outside opportunities or not, there's the ice maker again. I'm 40 years old, and I have 15 years of track experience here in the WWE, and not at a normal level, at an elite level. And I don't know how longer I can keep it up. If I had opportunities outside, great. If I didn't, I think I got to know when to say when in that point. And I'm not done, but I don't know if I can keep going at the pace that I've been going. And I think that's a major thing for me to try to consider. This is my family. This is my life. I eat, breathe, and sleep WWE. And I don't think anyone, whether they like me or they don't, I don't think anybody can argue that. So I guess I'll be like a weird Batman character. When they shine the light,
You show up.
I'll come a-running.
Well, let's face it, when you get to the position or the point that everybody strives to get to is where you've been for, like you said, the last 15 years here in the WWE.
Well, I also made a point, I remember early on when I was, kind of airing my grievances with Roman, I said, I'm still here because you can't do your job. And that's the reason that resonated was because it was a very genuine comment. If you look at the span of a typical WWE marquee star, they don't last that long.
No,
it's an anomaly. So yeah, you have to ask the question yourself, why? And deep down, I'd like to think it's because I'm special and I do well. But at the same time, it's also me, throwing a shot across the bow of my competition, saying, when are you going to step up and get tired of all this and prove that I do need to go on vacation? And I think, like I said, it's been a wonderful 4 weeks to watch Roman mature, and I was in there with him tonight. He's a stud. He's a superstar. I don't care if he has a little ways to go with the WWE universe. Understanding that, Roman, from a guy who's had to make those steps, just keep doing what you're doing. He's very gifted. He's very gifted, and I was beyond impressed.
Do you think that a big part of why people haven't been able to step up is because people are waiting for John Cena to make his big exit? And
Why would you do that?
It's finally my
Why
time
would
to
you
do
do
that.
that?
I don't know, because it seems like so many times people have a reason to not step up, or that they haven't been able to step into your shoes.
So they talk about passing the torch. Was that what we saw tonight?
Tonight, this mythical torch that lights fire to the WWE universe. Tonight, you saw Roman Reigns step up and take it, and that's what you do. It isn't passed. It's taken. And I think Roman's biggest challenge from here on out is the ability to run with said torch. In the WWE, and the universe can attest to this, you are only as good as your next one. You are only as good as your next one.
Is that what's your message right now to Roman Reigns and the rest of the WWE locker room?
Roman knows my message. We shared a bit of a chat in the middle of the ring. And I will say this until I can't say it anymore. I'm so proud of him. I just hope he keeps that passion and that fire, because it's not about speaking clearly. It's not about saying the right words. It's about showing the people that show up, that put their heart and soul to walk into this building and cheer or boo. It's about showing them equal respect. And Roman is all about respect. And if he gives everything he's got to this business with the gifts and ability that he has, the sky is the limit.
Well, I thank you for giving everything that you have to this business and being able to lay all that down for these people, because it's a great opportunity. And
I appreciate your patience as we listen to this. It's unbelievable. I mean, John Cena still putting Roman over, and it just shows he's a class act, the best in the business, and really kind of indicating to us that he's probably going to be going off into the distance. Not retiring, of course, but a part-timer, and that's fine. Because when he comes back, we will miss him. He's mentioned he's 40 years old. Now, for anybody else, yeah, he's getting older, but it's John Cena, a guy who's in tremendous shape, takes care of himself. He's still one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. And, of course, they still have one more run as he tries to break Ric Flair's record. And without a doubt, it will happen, as that will be the ultimate thank you in an unbelievable 15-year career by John Cena. Okay, we're going to be right back, everybody. We're going to talk more about No Mercy. Coming up after that, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, talking about everything moving forward in the WWE. Join the conversation. It's 844-627-3352. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. This is Mardel. We'll be right back.
Live on Broadcast Row, it's the Wrestling Morning Show. The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel. Live on Broadcast Row.
Okay, it's 25 past the hour. We're continuing talking about No Mercy. And first of all, I have to mention, No Mercy was a great pay-per-view until the very end. It's a little disappointing. One match I do want to talk about. Fatal 5-Way. As we know, Alexa Bliss goes over. She beats Bayley, Emma, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. I'm a huge Alexa Bliss fan. I thought for sure maybe we might see a dark horse like Nia Jax just grabbing a lot of momentum. Or maybe even Emma out of nowhere. I didn't think the perennial favorites, the fan favorites like Bayley or Sasha were going to win. But in reality, Alexa retains. And we find out last night that she has a new confrontation. We'll talk about that later on coming up. There was a lot of love in Los Angeles for Nia Jax. It was a fun match, but do you realize that match was only about a little over 9 minutes? We make fun of the Brock and Braun, which really kind of made No Mercy a little sour. We're talking about great matches up until the very last match. But this one right here, I didn't see it coming. I thought for sure Alexa would drop it in Los Angeles with all eyes on No Mercy. But she retains. And we'll talk about what's next for her coming up. And she obviously made it clear. We've talked about the Cruiserweight division. We talked about it all the time, as a matter of fact. A lot of talented people, we just don't care about the Cruiserweight division. There is no secret that there's been a lot of fatigue with especially Enzo Amore. So he gets moved to the Cruiserweight division. Excellent on the microphone. No one's going to disagree with that. There is a lot of fatigue with him, sure, and a lot of the rhetoric is exactly the same. So what do you do with Enzo? Well, you take somebody like Neville, who's dominated the division. He's been an unbelievable heel. Enzo opens up this match with a promo. Neville just gives him a beatdown. Enzo goes outside, grabs the belt. The ref says, "What are you doing? Give me that belt. I'll disqualify you." And as soon as the ref takes it, gives him back to the timekeeper. Enzo kicks him right in the balls. A very heel move. And of course, that's a foreshadow for last night. Enzo wins. Enzo is the new Cruiserweight champion. We'll talk more about this after we kind of quickly go over some of the moments from No Mercy. Well, someone lost a tooth last night. That was Cesaro. Anytime you guys have Cesaro, Sheamus, Dean, Seth, this was for the tag titles, you're going to see a physical, very fun match. There were moments where the crowd was kind of chanting, "This is boring." Kind of unexpected. And there were moments when it was boring. And then the tide turned. Of course, crowds chanting, "This is awesome." Blood's everywhere because Cesaro lost his tooth. This was a pure battle. And there was a really great spot with the white noise and then a power bomb with Sheamus and Cesaro. But at the very end, Dirty Deeds is hit on Sheamus, and Dean and Seth retain. Still very fun. This is one that surprised me. This was the second match of the night, Finn and Bray. Bray just keeps on attacking Finn. Even before the match starts, Finn actually ends up on the ramp. They come back. Finn's wearing his different apparel. Almost like a Prince Devitt look. Coup de grace on Bray toward the end, and there you go. I was pretty surprised for this. I thought for sure Bray was going to win. You never bet against Cena in a pay-per-view. Now I guess you should say you should never bet against Roman Reigns in a pay-per-view. You should always bet against Bray. Bray's track record, he's pretty bad. I thought for sure Bray would go over. This would be the best of three. We'd see the return of the demon, and then it'd be over. Last night, there was no indication of Bray. There's no indication of this feud carrying on. It kind of went in a completely different direction. I'll get to that momentarily. Talk about the pre-show. Elias. He asked, of course, the crowd, who wants to walk with Elias? And the crowd popped. They popped hard. He ends up beating Apollo. Pretty nice. Both those guys look great, by the way. And there was a huge amount of applause for Elias last night. But the one match that set the tone for me was at the very beginning. It was Miz versus Jason Jordan. We proved once again Jason Jordan could go. He could go. He could go. Enormous response for the Miz. As we mentioned, Jordan looked very good. Miz dominated the first half. There was a comeback by Jordan. There were a lot of boos for Jordan. There's also a chance of "you suck" that were going on for Jason Jordan. Miz Taraj kind of interferes. They distract. Miz hits the skull-crushing finale for the pin. Once again, these are top matches with Jason Jordan. He's looking great. Promo work needs help. We really don't know what direction. They're booing him regardless. Is it too early for him to turn heel? I don't know. Time will tell when it comes to that. Well, we pretty much, those were all the matches. And that's how we spent kind of the first half of this show. It's about 9:32 Eastern Standard Time. The conversation, you want to join it? It's 844-627-3352. It's the Wrestling Morning Show. I'm your host, Mardel. This was a very good pay-per-view. Tell me you didn't feel the electricity even with Elias and Apollo. Then we move on to the Miz and Jason Jordan, Finn and Bray, the tag team, then the women's. And of course, Roman versus John Cena was awesome. And then the surprise of Enzo and Neville. So then we're thinking, wow, what a great pay-per-view. And we're not even at the main event. The main event occurs, and it was a letdown. It was such a letdown. I said this earlier in the program. Braun Strowman, the man almost got killed by an ambulance. But yet he takes one F5 and it's over. What now? You spent the entire summer building Braun Strowman. Take it a couple days to marinate this. This entire thing has been, I believe, planned out for a long time. Braun cannot beat Brock. Let's look at the accomplishments of Roman Reigns. And I have a point to this. Maybe you agree or maybe you disagree. Roman was in the main event against Brock Lesnar. And of course, the iconic cash-in by Seth Rollins. Okay. Technically, Brock never beat Roman. Roman never beat Brock. He beats The Undertaker clean. He's also won a Royal Rumble in the past. He beat John Cena clean. To finally put the cherry on top, he will beat Brock Lesnar. When does this happen? Probably not anytime soon. Maybe the earliest Royal Rumble. Maybe WrestleMania. Now, in order for him to face Brock Lesnar, would he have to win the Royal Rumble? Of course, there is another title that is in store, and that's for the WWE Championship. They could do one of those things they did in the Attitude Era. They get to pick what title, when you used to cash in the Money in the Bank. Who knows? Maybe this entire thing has been orchestrated for a year. The cherry on top. If you look at some of the great runs in history, well, granted, even Stone Cold lost. Rarely did Triple H lose back in the day. Hogan never lost. Cena, for a long run, never lost. I guess it's important. First of all, yes, there are a lot of people who hate Roman Reigns. I get it. The hardcore fans, I get it. But there are a lot of hardcore fans who love Roman Reigns. Male and female. When you look at something at maybe trivial to you, but important, when you look at the views of videos that the WWE puts up on YouTube, the majority of those videos, the main content, the main views, the majority right now, number one is Roman Reigns. When you look at sales, he's either in the top 2 to the top 3. That's Roman Reigns. Action figures. Who sells the most? It's right now John Cena and Roman Reigns. We go back to that special Raw Talk. We played the audio clip, which is awesome, and I encourage all you guys at some point, please listen to it. So that's pretty much No Mercy. So we're doing this show right now. It's Tuesday morning. Obviously, everything's set in. Some people like to do shows right after a pay-per-view. I need at least a day to marinate, because some of my opinions have changed. I asked a couple questions on Twitter, and actually got some great responses, so I appreciate everybody who was part of Twitter last night. This was really right after No Mercy last night. I asked, tonight, who came out the best for their gimmick in weeks to come? Not your typical questions here, but Elias, Enzo, Nia, or Jason Jordan. And the votes just ended last night with Nia at 34%, Enzo a close second, Jordan, then Elias. Let's turn our attention, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Raw. After coming off a pretty hot opening last night, really no mention of Jason Jordan per se, except for the opening of the promo. We're going to take you back and give you a listen right now, ladies and gentlemen, as how Raw opened, setting up a nice little match, hopefully a little feud between Roman and The Miz. So they're in Ontario, California last night, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Miz TV. Roman is on his way to the ring. Miz actually has a very nice suit, by the way. And, of course, he's got the Mr. Raj. They're inside the ring. No Maurice, by the way.
Roman Reigns was also very, very respectful of John Cena on social media over the past.
Definitely a mixed crowd that is there right now.
Said whether you exchange harsh words or harsh blows, you don't leave a fight without respect.
I have to tell you guys, if you did not have the opportunity, we played the audio of Raw Talk. If you're just joining us now, when this goes on demand, listen to Raw Talk. Listen to John Cena still putting Roman Reigns over. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Are you guys done? Roman, I apologize for them. Welcome to the show.
No. We like it loud. There we go.
Roman. Wow, what a year. I mean, you beat and retired Undertaker at WrestleMania. And then you had an equally impressive victory last night against John Cena. And on Raw Talk, John Cena said about this match that it was a passing of the torch moment. How do you feel hearing that come from a person like John Cena?
Since you're pretty long-winded, I'm going to cut to the chase and tell you I respect John Cena now. You can react to that however you want. John said a lot of stuff to me, and he backed it all up in this ring. And the fact is, he did it for 15 years. He held the fort down for 15 years. There's not another guy, there's not another top guy that can say that. So yes, I respect John Cena. And that's why I'm proud to say that I beat John Cena last night. And if I'm gonna be honest, it was the biggest win I've ever had in my entire career. So you weren't the only one celebrating all night. It's been a long night. I don't have a lot of sleep. My back hurts from the match, and I really don't understand why I'm sitting here talking to an idiot like you.
an idiot like me. I mean, why would Roman Reigns talk to little old Miz? Because you're the guy. The guy. You know who the guy is? The guy in the ring with the championship. Because at No Mercy, I single-handedly retained my Intercontinental Champion, making the most prestigious and honorable title in all the WWE. And I proved exactly what I said Jason Jordan is. A loser. Yeah, I'm that guy.
A loser. I've been in the ring with you, and I've been in the ring with Jason Jordan. And I'm telling you right now, he's a thoroughbred, and you could not beat him one-on-one. If it wasn't for these idiots helping you all the time, you wouldn't have won last night. Matter of fact, why don't one of y'all help me? Why don't y'all run back there and grab me a beverage or something? No. Go back there and get me a cold beer, boy.
No. Shut up, everyone. This is a classy establishment. We don't drink beer on Miz TV. And you know what? It's kind of ironic coming from you talking about the Miztourage, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel, because when you first came to WWE, you rode the coattails of two superstars. And if the Miztourage was around 5 years ago, nobody would remember the Shield. Do you know what would happen if the Miztourage faced the Shield?
You're serious? I'm sorry, I didn't think he was, I thought he was joking, y'all. We would whoop y'all's ass, no problem. Bro, it would be terrible for you. Are you kidding me? Y'all don't want that, and you're not gonna get it because Dean and Seth are doing their thing, and I'm doing mine. And I have my own direction, the Universal Championship. So that means I'm coming after the beast, Brock Lesnar.
I invite you onto my show, and you disrespect the Miztourage, my brothers, and then you go about disrespecting me by talking about another champion in front of me. You beat John Cena once, great, but what about all the times that you choked with Samoa Joe, with Braun Strowman, with Brock Lesnar? You think we all forgot about when you got pinned by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? You've never been Universal Champion, yet you act like all of us are beneath you. Let me explain something to you. Since I came to Monday Night Raw, I've carried this show. I've made this title what it is today. And this is the title to have, and I am the man to beat, and I will not be disrespected.
All right, let's do it.
Do what?
Let's run it, let's fight.
No one said anything about fighting.
Y'all want to see me beat up the Miz tonight?
Oh! Wait, put that back down.
We don't need none of this stuff.
Listen.
We need to get a referee
I
down
have
here.
a suit on. I have a suit on. There is no, you got to see it. There is no.
Suit's pretty nice, but it's going to be torn up in about 5 minutes, bro.
Roman, I have a pregnant wife at home who needs me very much, so I thank you for the show. Thank you, everyone. Miztourage, let's go.
Roman shut that talk down quick, didn't he?
Big Dog's looking for a fight.
Miz obviously isn't.
Miz is not ready for a fight.
And here is our general manager, the WWE Hall of Famer, the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle.
Okay, hold on a second. Miz, tell Maurice you can be home a little late tonight because I love the idea of a match between you and Roman Reigns. Tonight!
Oh, yeah.
So it's set for competition right off the bat. Thanks to Kurt Angle. It's always great to see Kurt Angle. The first match, Axel and Bo versus Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan. Look pretty good. These guys could go in the ring. But Matt and Jason, they end up obviously prevailing. A lot of you guys know that Jeff Hardy's shoulder is banged up, possibly needs surgery. Do not confirm that yet. I am curious. And we'll do some investigating. Hopefully have some more information for you on tomorrow's program. Move right along to match number 2. Elias comes out, sings a nice little song. When he asks the question, who wants to walk with Elias, the crowd erupts, and I love it. I've said this time and time again. I love what they're doing with him. I love the slow build. I love the marination. Slowly, and he's getting over. And he's actually wrestling pretty good as well. So now at the end of this, Elias wins. Elias attacks Titus, and Titus is a big boy, you know that. So then he returns the favor and starts punching Elias. Elias is forced out the ring. We move quickly to match number 3. Hawkins comes out there, and I kind of like what they're doing with Hawkins a little bit. Mentioning the fact that he's lost 118 in the row. Kind of a Mikey Whipwreck story, kind of a Mike Boyette story, just to date you guys a little bit if you're listening to the program. So Hawkins calls out a competitor. It's Braun. Braun shows up. Obviously, there's no talk really about Brock, and Brock wasn't there, and neither was Paul last night. So Braun comes out and just destroys him. Not even really a match. Gets on the microphone, continues the rhetoric that why we still started to fall in love with him, calls out somebody. What's real competition? Dean Ambrose comes out. So pretty much for the match, Braun's destroying Dean, and Dean's being a little comical, and I wasn't feeling it. It was like gimmicky. But of course, Dean had some moments there. Knocked him out of the ring. Braun comes back with an 8 count. And finally, it was just silly too, by the way. Some of the stuff Dean was doing was just silly. Not really, I think that's the direction they should have gone in that. Finally, there's a power slam. And Braun wins. This whole thing that has upset me, and I've referenced this now. I've gone back and talked about it 3 times. The main event from 2 nights ago at No Mercy, Braun and Brock. The entire summer building this man up who seems invincible. The man who was run over by an ambulance. The man who's had his battles. Who's really taken no prisoners. And he loses on a 1 F5. It is what it is. I think as I came to that conspiracy theory, the subjective wrestling thoughts, I think the cherry on top to finally say, Roman, this is yours, is when Roman beats Brock clean. Now, if Brock continues to hold the title, that means Roman would have to win the Royal Rumble, unless the Royal Rumble is for the WWE Championship. Could be a different story. We'll talk about that probably more tomorrow, and of course, in the weeks to come. Now, right now, we have Miss Bliss, who I really thought, even though I'm a huge fan of Alexa Bliss, I really thought she was going to drop the title. And that wasn't the case. She's in the ring. She's talking about the fact that she didn't get enough respect for beating 4 other future Hall of Famers, as she said. I don't know if she's correct about that. But then she gets a visit from an old friend. And this is actually a really good confrontation. Mickie James coming to the ring. And these guys had real chemistry on the microphone together. By the way, Mickey looks great.
Well, look at you. You cleaned out the entire women's division? Seriously? I mean, sure, you had a great night last night, but the way I see it is, I wasn't in that match, was I? So you didn't beat me.
Well, yeah, Mickey, but...
But what? Because you see, after your great night, you went on a Raw Talk and you had some real tall talks, didn't you? What, you don't think I watched that show? You don't think that I know what you said? So come on, why don't you say it again? Why don't you tell all these people what you think I am?
Look, Mickey, I respect you. I do. If I didn't, I wouldn't have brought you back to WWE. Mickey, you were one of my favorites to watch when I was a little girl. Mickey, I think you were even on my top 8 on MySpace. You know, back when MySpace and Mickey James were relevant. But I mean...
That's so cute. There you go again. See, you're talking out the side of your face and you're talking way over there. Not right here, are you, huh? What's the matter? Are you scared? Come on. Out with it. Say it.
Mickey, don't get me wrong. I think you still have a lot to offer WWE. I mean, you still have a couple fans that say you still got it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they're talking about your personal appearances in charity, but you know, Mickey, it is so great that your demographic has someone to represent them. That's awesome. It's just, Mick, in the ring, I respect you, I do. But I don't want to see you break a hip.
Oh, it's so genuine, you know? Look, Alexa, little girl. The last thing I need is you, of all people, to sit here and run down my accolades or tell me what I can and can't do, because you see, I know who I am, honey. I'm Mickey James. I am a 6-time women's champion. I have broken bones, I have broken hearts, and I have broke down barriers for women in the WWE, all before you were wearing a training bra. Which is obviously still working out well for you. What I want is for you to repeat what you said last night on Raw Talk, but I want you to do it like a real woman. I want you to do it to my face.
Look, Mickey.
No, absolutely not. Enough. Enough of this little tap dancing around it. You see, you either say it or you get out of my ring. Because this ring is no place for a coward.
Coward. Coward, okay. Fine, Mickey. I'll say it. I said it last night and I'll say it again. Mickey, you are an old lady.
Oh, man. Enough is enough. Mickey didn't want to hear anymore.
And Alexa, take it out.
See, I wouldn't mind seeing this feud. I wouldn't mind seeing it at all. Mickey looked great, by the way. And this one obviously just elevates Alexa and showing people once again how talented she is. We're going to take a small break. We do have some WWE news for you. We did some research of some of the things we talked about a little bit earlier and like to confirm them when we get back on the program. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost about to hit the top of the hour. So what I need you guys to do is I need you guys to be part of the show. It's 844-627-3352. That's 844-627-3352. Follow us on Twitter at Live Morning Show, Facebook, The Wrestling Morning Show. Any information you need, it's on thewrestlingmorningshow.com. Also, download the app. Download the app in iTunes and Google Play. Easiest way to listen live on the show.
The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel, live on Broadcast Row. Now back to the Wrestling Morning Show. The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel, live on Broadcast Row.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost the top of the hour. Continuing talking about Monday Night Raw. Join the conversation, 844-627-3352. We do the show every Tuesday, every Wednesday morning. And of course, we do special shows like we did one, a No Mercy special show, Sunday afternoon. Pretty decent. I appreciate everybody who tuned in for that. A couple things I want to talk to you about before we get back and talk about Monday Night Raw. Maria Kanellis is pregnant, everybody. Congratulations. That was reported last night. And yeah, it is confirmed. Jeff Hardy is going to have surgery very soon. We'll keep you posted on that. Also, a couple other things to mention that are news-worthy for you guys. And also, of course, no secret, Cesaro actually had to get stitches before dental surgery. Man, that sucks. He's a tough guy. He's a pro. He was pro enough to show up in a nice suit, by the way. Not the one that with the Velcro from back in the day. But Seth and Sheamus, one-on-one. Obviously, Dean already had a match with Braun Strowman. Cesaro on the sidelines. You know he probably wasn't going to interfere. Seth goes over. It's quick, short, and sweet. And then, of course, now we have Roman versus The Miz. How do you think that ends up? Well, my hat's off to the great heel, Mike Mizanin. Mr. Raj interferes. They end up giving a skull-crushing finale to Roman Reigns on a chair. And when they were done, they struck the shield pose with the fists, all joined in one. Okay, so what everybody's thinking is, okay, is this an opportunity now for the Shield to come back, come together? He said on Miz TV, his eyes are on the prize. Now, what they did, they teased it a little bit, and the crowd actually enjoyed the fact that maybe the Shield would come together during that Miz TV. The reality is they probably have some time to kill, to be honest. I would not mind seeing a series between Miz, one of the very best, and Roman Reigns. That's how Roman Reigns elevates. He works with somebody on the microphone like The Miz. Somebody who could guide a promo if they're both inside the ring. And maybe they have a couple matches, and the Miz Taraj continues to interfere. And then enough is enough. And maybe the Shield do come back together. I always figured if the Shield did come back together, it would have to be against a massive faction. If the Club ever came together. Something along those lines. One thing that I loved from last week, and I was praying, and I was hoping, and I was thinking about this at No Mercy, I was thinking about it all week. I love the fact that Dustin Rhodes appeared last week. Dustin Rhodes, no makeup. Dustin Rhodes, the person. Backstage, he sees Finn Balor attacks him out of nowhere. The entire thing is out of nowhere. And then they have a match. I was so upset, really. The fact first that they have this match. I was really upset because I wanted to see Dustin Rhodes. And for a guy who's in his mid to late 40s, Dustin Rhodes could go. Obviously, Finn gets the better side of this entire thing. This has been a very lackluster, underwhelming Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, we saw the women. It was a tag team competition with Nia Jax, Emma, Bayley, Sasha. Take a stab. If you didn't watch it, take a stab at one. Take a stab. It was Bayley and Sasha. Of course. I'm a huge fan of Nia Jax. I've said this many times. She's different. She doesn't look like most athletes. I think there's a great marketing tool in this entire thing that they're missing. I would love for them to go back to the fact that there was a moment where, Alexa would take advantage of Nia Jax. Obviously, that's kind of disappear. They are real friends in real life, especially if you watch a lot of the behind-the-scenes documentaries and videos and stuff like that. I really thought Nia Jax or Emma, they were actually going to win. Sorry, not this match, but at the Fatal 5-Way. I'm a huge Alexa fan, but I thought it was finally time for these two to win. Well, they end up losing last night for fan favorites of Bayley and Sasha. Okay, so now it's literally the main event, or the main event time segment. We're talking 10 minutes to 11 Eastern Standard Time. And the new Cruiserweight champion, Enzo Amore, he's inside the ring. We've all thought about this, the fatigue of Enzo, the heat that is now on Enzo. People getting sick of him. People still love him, actually. I'm not going to lie. I was one of those guys that was completely fatigued. Have I now paid attention a little bit more to the Cruiserweight division? Yeah, I have. Because I'm curious. Is he going to become a better wrestler? Will he tweak his promos and be a little bit more interesting and not as predictable? Well, last night, ladies and gentlemen, what can be called as a double turn. Let's go ahead and refresh your memory from 12 hours ago.
I did something that was seemingly impossible. Seemingly impossible for the other cruiserweights. I made 205 Live relevant. Yeah, I did. Hey, look at the statistics, people. There's Forbes articles, all right? And you know how I did it? Because I'm Smack Talker Skywalker. I got the gift of jab. I got the gift of gab. And you know what else? What is that terrible music?
You would think the champion would watch the 205 Live show he represents. What a degenerate.
Well, speaking of 205 Live, the Cruiserweights from that show Tuesday nights on the WWE Network have appeared here on stage on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, not too many of them have any respect for their champion.
Well, what do we got over here? A couple of haters? A couple of haters? A bunch of haters? Is that Richie Swann? I can hardly see you, you're so small. Aren't you that guy, that nobody that danced his way to a championship? And then went from being a champion back to dancing his way to being a nobody? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's you, kid. Yeah, get the choreography figured out, buddy. Hey, who's that? Cedric the Entertainer Alexander the Great. The man that charisma forgot. Yeah, talking to you, bub. Grand Metalik. My Pepper Jack. My Pepper Jack. You know, I like you, bro. I like you. But you got some nerve coming out here right now, because I got to be honest with you. With a gut like that, somebody needs to bring a scale out here, because there's no way you're under 205. Yeah, I call it how I see it, all right? And Gulag, glad you wore a suit and tie, not the Captain Underpants look. Look terrible. Look terrible. And what's up, Teacup? I see you sitting over there. Yeah, Teacup. Is it all right if I call you Teacup? Is that not all right? Why not? What? And Gnome, you know, Gnome, I split your dome.
Here comes the former Cruiserweight champion, beaten last night at No Mercy.
Well, if history's any indicator, the last time Neville lost the Cruiserweight Championship, it was like something we'd never seen before.
Well, look who decided to show up to the party. Fashionably late. Fashionably, but you look terrible right now. Where is your crown? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's on the shoulder of a real man. Oh, well, I think they heard me. We're gonna pretend like you didn't hear me?
You pretend like you didn't hear me? Sitting there not saying nothing? Bro, with those satellite discs on the side of your head that you call ears, I know you're hearing every word I'm saying. Because I can see the pain in your eyes, kid. And you know why I can see that pain? Because the truth hurts. Oh, it does. Oh, that truth hurts, my friend. Oh, you don't like it?
You know what, Enzo? You're right. The truth is brutal. And the truth is that you are such an unbearable, toxic little individual that you have alienated absolutely everybody that you come in contact with.
Ain't nobody making contact with me tonight.
Enzo, you arrived on Monday Night Raw to much fanfare, and then just 2 short years later, you are dumped on our doorstep like an unwanted little slug because nobody else will have you.
I got some love. There's some love in here.
Hey! If it were left to me, Enzo, I would have left you out in the cold to rot. But it was these gentlemen behind me, these so-called nobodies that insisted you had an opportunity. Enzo, is this how you repay them?
No, you know how I repay him, Neville? By getting eyes on 205 Live and making them all stars.
No! Enzo, no! You are nothing but a disgrace, and you have done nothing but make a joke out of them, make a joke out of this division, make a joke out of my Cruiserweight Championship. And Enzo, when you kicked me where the sun doesn't shine, you made a joke out of me. So now, on behalf of the entire Cruiserweight division, Enzo Amore, I am here to end you.
Hey, wait a minute. Slow your roll. Back up. You know if you... I got this clause. Hey, I got this clause. Kurt Angle signed it, and you know it. You know it for a fact, and so do they. You can't touch me. If you lay a hand on me, you'll never lay hands on this title. You're precious, right, Gollum? Ain't that right? The baby that Frodo and Gollum had? Dude, you know you can't. You can't. And you know what? Hey, wait a second. Wait a second. Slow your roll. You know what you have done, dude? Look around you. Look at what time it is. Oh, you ain't got your watch on? Hey, this is the last hour of Raw, the main event, all right? And in 9 months that you held this title, you never even sniffed this hour. All right? And that's the truth, and you know it. The reason you're out here right now is because I'm a star. That's a fact. And you know what? The reason any of you guys are out here is because I'm a star. If you took all the money you guys make on merchandise, and you as well, you couldn't, this whole arena, you couldn't even touch one of my merchandise checks, dog. I'm money, baby, and you can't touch me, and you know it. So do me a favor. I'll see you tomorrow, and all you on the Zoe Show, get the hell out of my ring. You see the paper, buddy. You want this title? Because you're never gonna get it if you lay a hand on me and you know it, so go home.
Oh, Neville has heard enough.
By the way, that was simply fantastic. A great promo by Neville. And by the way, there was no secret. Enzo is phenomenal on that microphone. He's phenomenal. But it runs its course. It's been repetitive for months. There was some potential, obviously, when him and Big Cass were feuding. He turned his back on him. Now he's on 205 Live, and what he said is the truth. There are a lot of eyes on 205 Live because of him. I'm actually watching it. It is interesting. And really, we saw a heel turn right there by Enzo. And he's going to be phenomenal as a heel. Pretty much a lot of his promo work for the last couple of years, yes. There was a lot of shooting. There was a lot of truth-based promo work in that. Now there's going to be no holds barred. And what a promo by Neville, by the way. You think about where he's been and where he's come from, and everybody now on the entire roster of the Cruiserweight division, they backed him up right back into Neville. Been pretty good. So in true fashion, he's going to have to find some alliance and turn some guys heel that kind of believe in Enzo. So I'm going to start watching now. Now, believe me, I'm watching it a lot of times, but that's how it ended. Neville, fantastic character. I tell you what, he's really come a long way. Raw was very underwhelming. There wasn't even much to talk about. It was really surprising. If you went on Twitter last night, I don't know if it trended at all. It might have trended the first hour. But by the last 90 minutes to 2 hours, it wasn't even trending yet. Dancing with the Stars on. You had Monday Night Football. I'm sure there's other things, too, that I'm missing. Oh, there's also pennant fever for baseball. A lot of things going on. You know, and you know there's a lot of people out there. Obviously, they watch the show on the DVR. They tape it. They may watch it start a little bit later. But I would hope, and I think they did a great job this summer. They did a great job up until this point of really all eyes watching wrestling. I think they put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth with Brock Lesnar. I think they put a bad taste in people's mouth with the Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman decision. Not a lot of eyes on Raw. But once again, I've said this, if you're just joining us on the program, I thought No Mercy was a very good pay-per-view until that very end. I'm very excited about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for SmackDown Live. Now they start to build it up. I'm still debating. I got to go to Little Caesars Arena, no? I heard it's state-of-the-art, and the surrounding entertainment, state-of-the-art. That's going to be October 8th, 2017. It's the very first wrestling event in the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. This is now the Pistons and the Red Wings, they all traveled to go downtown, revitalizing downtown, really. So this definitely is state-of-the-art. And I'm excited about this. Jinder goes on against Shinsuke Nakamura. That's going to be for the WWE Championship. Shane and Kevin Owens in a Hell in a Cell match. We have New Day and the Usos again. It's going to be for the tag titles. I really hope they build this up with words like they did 2 pay-per-views ago. And then Natalya and Charlotte. It's going to be for the SmackDown Women's title. I'm sure we're going to be adding more layers to it as they're running out of time. So this has to be a big SmackDown. We've seen this happen before where it hasn't been really the show before the pay-per-view is the go-home show. It's usually been the 2-week mark. And right now we're at that 2-week mark where I expect big things to come out of tomorrow's show. That's just how it's been for the last couple summers. Okay, on tomorrow. Okay, on tomorrow's show, we have a very big show lined up, and I'm very excited about it. We're going to have the return of the Code Break with Brent Coder. We're also going to be obviously recapping SmackDown, talking more about Hell in the Cell coming up. We're going to also enlighten you guys about a lot of the news that's actually around the WWE. We're going to talk about some of the pay-per-views coming up. We're also going to have the open forum. We're going to have some trivia. We're going to have some giveaways. It's been a fun couple days of wrestling, thanks to No Mercy. Talking about the future John Cena. Very excited to talk about that, see what he's up to. Some of the open forum questions. Whose era is it? And we'll give you more details, obviously, on Twitter. We're going to be tweeting live tonight, of course, like we do every Raw and SmackDown. I want to thank Broadcast Row, the network that provides the show. I want to thank everybody that helps behind the scenes. Follow us on Twitter at Live Morning Show. You can follow me, your host, at Mardel Brennan on Twitter. Of course, we stream live on the Wrestling Morning Show on Facebook. TheWrestlingMorningShow.com. That's the website with all types of information. Now, when the show goes off the air, after we say goodbye, give us an hour. It's going to be in podcast form, available in iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. It's going to be available everywhere. And, of course, we always do a couple posts on Twitter of some of our sound hubs, depending on your preference. That's how nice of a show we are. But, of course, the easiest way to listen live, and that's what it's about, listening live on the go. Download the app at iTunes and Google Play. I do want to thank everybody for listening. It means a lot that you guys listen. It means a lot to all the followers that lately that I've been meeting and talking to and tweeting with and retweeting with. You guys are awesome, man. We all have one love, and that's wrestling. I want to thank everybody who listens and participates in the show, either live on the program or on Twitter. For everybody listening around the world, thank you, and be good.
The Wrestling Morning Show with Mardel, live on Broadcast Row.